The house that exploded was vacant. The house to the north, people were living there, but they weren't home. And there was a lady home in the house to the south who was, as my understanding, she was blown across her living room when it exploded.
Breaking news in Decatur tonight. It's a story you first saw here on WAND. Information and pictures of a house explosion that rocked a neighborhood. WAND Sean Streety is live on North Monroe Street tonight with the latest.
Yeah, right here in Monroe Park, Dawn, I can tell you still smelling the smells of burnt wood and insulation. Apparently natural gas was the source that ignited this house explosion in the 2100 block of North Monroe Street about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Streets are still closed here in the 2100 block of North Monroe, both at Harrison and Hay Street, as the cleanup continues. I talked with the deputy chief of the fire department about what happened. First of all, most importantly, no deaths or injuries, but people are pretty lucky.
No deaths or injuries. There was only one person home to the house to the south, and she was blown across her living room but uninjured.
And the house on the other side, what was that?
The house to the north, the people weren't home at the time that it happened.
And the house that actually blew up was for sale, it was vacant?
Correct.
All right. What do you think blew it up?
At this time, we're suspecting a gas leak. And that's what Ameren's going to try and determine, and our fire investigators are going to try and determine as soon as the house is stable enough. It may not even be stable enough. We may just have, I think they're just going to have to tear it down and see if they can try to locate the source from there.
So this rattled windows and threw debris and the whole bit, didn't it?
Absolutely. You can tell by the debris on Monroe Street that a lot of debris went across the street, debris into the house on both sides, debris to the house on the backside and the garage on the backside.
When it comes to a gas line that could be leaking, in your experience, is that what usually causes that?
Well, there's a variety of reasons for gas leaks. So that's probably a question for Ameren. We generally have, the times that we have issues is when people are trying to take copper out of a house and they don't realize that the gas is still on, and you end up with a free-flowing gas situation. And then all it's doing is looking for an ignition source.
And it was vacant?
Yes.
So it's a possibility. You'll find out more in the investigation. Anything else that's important we should know?
At this point, obviously Monroe Street on that side is closed down. We're just waiting. I think the gas is shut off. The gas has actually been capped, and we're waiting to tear the house down. And then hopefully when that's all done, we can get all the hidden fires out, and we can be everybody can leave.
That teardown is going on as we speak right now. Doug Wolf was one of the first here on the scene to see this unfold, and Doug, quite a sight.
It was, Sean. You know, when we pulled up, the whole front end of the house was completely blown out, and there was a significant large flame right in the middle of the house. That was from a broken gas line, as we now know, that was just basically fueling the flames of this fire. The firemen were pouring water on it for quite a while. Ameren showed up on the scene sometime later, dug up in front of the house and sent their people into this big hole and basically shut off the gas in front of the house. But it burned for quite a while. The amazing thing, nobody hurt. By the way, Sean, that house, the for sale sign was sticking up in the rubble for quite a few hours after that, because this home was for sale. I think the asking price has come down by quite a bit.
I would say. And Michael Burton talked with some of the neighbors who were shook by the explosion, and you talked with some people about what they saw and heard.
You know, Sean, what's concerning is that the explosion happened right across the street from a public park, Monroe Park, and it's the summertime, so a lot of kids are out here riding their bikes and playing. And I talked to one kid who was on his bike when the explosion happened. He said he heard a big boom, he fell off his bike a little bit, and before he had time to really turn around and see what happened, he rushed home to his parents' house and asked, hey, you know, did you guys hear that? And they said, yeah, the whole house shook. So the effects of this are pretty widespread.
Yep, no doubt. It definitely is something that's the talk of the neighborhood tonight.
Yeah.
And fortunately, no deaths or injuries. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
And the investigation obviously ongoing, as you heard, in terms of what caused this explosion. More importantly, that natural gas source, something they'll be looking further into. Coming up at 6, we'll have more from the scene as the teardown and the cleanup continues here on the north side of Decatur. Live in Decatur, Sean Streety, WAND News.